Let's do it. Hey, what's going on, y'all? I'm Brandon Atlanta Man Bang, coming to you live right here at Coach's Corner, the center of the universe, Thunderbolt, Georgia. Another installment of Rubbin' and Grubbin'. Rubbin' is racing, grubbin' is tasting. Thank you guys for tuning in, man. Catch us right here every Wednesday, 6 o'clock, breaking down all things NASCAR, man. So we're going to start it out with the word of the day. If you guys have never tuned into the show, basically what it is, I'm going to say a word. Lawrence is going to post it up here. I have no idea what the word is. Every time I say that word tonight, make sure you take a sip of your favorite adult beverage. As I always say, age appropriate as well. Kids are back in school, but hey, if you're up watching this, man, Wednesday night, get some Kool-Aid, some Coca-Cola, get lit up on some sugar, man. Stay up late. It's Wednesday, hump day, man. You're almost halfway there, man. So today's word of the day is going to be, I have no idea what it was. I know last week's was Atlanta. I'm sure I said that quite a few times. So there again, like I said, every time I say that word tonight, make sure you take a sip of your favorite adult or kid-friendly beverage, man. So getting right into the NASCAR news. Look, we're under 30 days away from this clash at the LA Coliseum, man. The Busch Light Clash. I cannot wait. I think this is going to be an amazing race. NASCAR's put a lot of money in, over $1 million to get this racetrack done. It is pretty much finished. Just got to be painted up. It's a different format, different layout for this race, quarter-mile racetrack there. It is going to be exciting. There's probably going to be a lot of guys that get spun out, a lot of bumper usage to get the season going. So I think it's going to be great. One there again, non-point paying race, all about bragging rights and the money. You're going to see some guys go out there and try some things that they normally wouldn't try. And at the end of the day, this is the only style of racetrack that's like this. Quarter mile, short, they're going to go out there and get it, man. So stay tuned. Be ready for that. That is going to be, I think, the 5th of February or 6th of February right there. So make sure you tune into that. LA Coliseum a week before the Super Bowl in LA. Going to be a lot of eyes, a lot of celebrities there on this, man. So definitely make sure you check that out. But Chili Bowl officially got started up there Monday night, man. I tell you what, if you haven't seen this ever before, this is the epitome. This is the top notch of dirt track racing. It gets no better than this, man. So you've got to make sure you tune in, check Chili Bowl out. As I said earlier, man, you had Alex Bowman, Chase Elliott, and Chase Briscoe all had their qualifying races there Monday. Everybody's moving on, going to have to try to work their way into that A main, but they all qualify for the main gig. Let's see, Kyle Larson had his last night, Tuesday night. There again, pretty sure, I want to say he finished second or third there in that. And it's great. If you hadn't seen it, a lot of videos out there. Make sure you go check it out. And we're still waiting on Christopher Bell. His will be Thursday, along with all the other guys running all the way up to the mains this weekend. If you've never seen it, there's a lot of racing going on. Not a lot of laps, 30 laps, 10 laps, 15 laps, all kinds of different heat races. But I tell you what, it is awesome. So make sure you go check that out. You can watch it live on MAV TV or you can stream it, man. So definitely make sure you tune in. Check out this dirt racing because it is absolutely amazing, man. So there again, Matt Benedetto lands his ride there in the Truck Series. I think it's going to be something pretty good for him. You know, he kind of had to take a step back from the Cup. He had success there, built his way up, got in the Wood Brothers car. I don't think it really panned out the way that he expected it to and they expected it to. But is a really, really nice guy and a really good guy in NASCAR. Love his attitude, and he can drive, man. So I think moving down into the Truck Series is going to revamp that career a little bit. But he did sign on with Rackley War, which is in its second year in the Truck Series. So I think bringing this experience of a guy that's raced at the Cup level and raced at many different levels in the sport is going to help. I look for Matty D if he can go back to being consistent, contend for wins in the Truck Series every week and get some wins. Like I said, it could be the revamp of a career, man. He can work his way right back up there to the Cup Series. We've seen it happen with numerous guys before. So I think he's just got to, get to work, man. Get out there, hustle hard, get some wins, run that truck good. You know, a couple years, maybe move up to Xfinity in a couple years. Who knows, man? He could be back in the Cup Series in no time. So keep an eye out for Matty D over there in the Camping World Truck Series this year, y'all. Eric Almirola announces retirement out of the 10 car. This is going to be his last season behind the wheel of it. Just states he wants to start spending some more time with his family. We know he's got a couple younger kids. Definitely wants to spend some time there. Been in the sport for a long time. There again, another very talented race car driver. Just I don't think until later in the career he got into some equipment that he was able to showcase some talent. Big note, last year got the only win over there at Stewart-Haas, man, in the 10 car. Qualified for those playoffs and got himself in. So let's see if 2022 can round itself out and be in a really good retirement year for Aric Almirola. Make that chase again, and at the end of the day, who knows? Maybe even make the Final Four, man. New car, new generation type stuff, man. Who knows? He could possibly do it. So going to be upset to see him go, but it does open up a ride for somebody else, and we're going to touch base on that here in just a little bit, man. So there again, as you guys know, I'm super stoked about this Atlanta race. I told you guys we tuned into that last week, talked a little bit about it. Now that more has come out, I was kind of torn not knowing how I really felt about it. I'm really kind of excited. If it's going to race like a Daytona Talladega, where everybody's going to kind of be bunched together and having to make the same style moves, the drafting together and then pull out and make these moves, it's going to happen a lot faster in Atlanta than it does at Daytona or Talladega, being 1.5 miles compared to over 2 miles at the other two tracks. So we're going to see what it does. We're going to see if NASCAR made the right calls on doing what they do. But at the end of the day, super stoked for that March 20th at the all-new Hot Atlanta. Atlanta man himself will be there giving it hell as I normally do, man. So like I said earlier, got some new, Ryan Preece coming over to Stewart-Haas. We're talking about, whether somebody's going to fill in that 10 after this year. This could be a guy. Now, with that being said, not to take anything away from Ryan Preece, but I know that the Xfinity Series is filled with a lot of young talent that has nowhere to go. There are no seats above Xfinity for them to fill. And just a couple names to be mentioned out there. You got Brandon Jones and Noah Gragson. Gregson's going to be featured a little bit in the 16 car for Colleague this year in the Cup Series. But Brandon Jones and Noah Gragson are two really good young talents. So like I said earlier, we talked about Aric Almirola retiring. There was rumors that last year was supposed to be Kevin Harvick's last year. Don't know if he's going to race 2 more, 1 more. Who knows? But at the end of the day, in the next couple of years, you're going to have a couple big openings at a good organization. We'll see if they bring in a driver that is already experienced in Cup, or if they bring up some of these younger guys and kind of set that organization for the next 10 years, say 5 to 10 years with the younger guys. So just something to keep an eye on there again over at Stewart-Haas. Tony always has a way of doing some crazy stuff with some drivers. So there again, at the end of the day, nothing will surprise me. Just going to have to wait to see if it's somebody that's been there or somebody new coming up, man. So Blake Harris going to be named the new crew chief of the 34 car there with Michael McDowell. As I said last week, Drew Blickensdorfer decided to lead that organization to explore options. He ends up hopping on the 10 car of all things coming up as retirement, but he's going to be there for a while. So they had to fill the spot. And I tell you what, Harris has been around the sport a long time, worked for a lot of good prestigious organizations in NASCAR. First time he's going to be on the top of the box in the Cup Series, so we'll see if he can handle the week in and week out daily duties of that crew chief and see if he can get the 34 another win. We'll see what he can do, not only for McDowell, but also for his career and his future. So stay tuned on that as well. Biggest news really coming out, man, Daytona Next Gen testing going on pretty much a couple days this week, few days, 17 cars there testing. On track. It looks like it's going to be something really, really neat. We're going to get into a little bit more of that, but touching on the Daytona, Dale Jr. was back there testing for Hendrick Motorsports, so really neat to see Jr. still out there involved, giving his feedback not only to NASCAR, but Hendrick as an organization of what he feels the cars are doing and what he feels like they need or what direction they should head or just anything, but just stoked to see him back out there on the track, pulling some laps. He was asked if there was ever a thought of a return to the Cup Series, and I quote Dale Jr. as saying he is done taking risks. So if you were a Dale Jr. fan, you know his health problems that he had there with the migraines and concussions pretty much that he had throughout his career. Started causing him some trouble there later on in his career, so definitely not taking the risk, being a family man with children now. But I tell you what, still a good thing to see him out there on the track, getting some laps in and giving that good feedback, man. So like I say all the time, if you guys haven't yet, please go out, like, share, follow all the social media out there, man. You can catch us on the gram. You can catch us on Facebook. Right here, you can catch us on Facebook Live every Wednesday, 6 o'clock, Coach's Corner, Center of the Universe. But most of all, man, make sure you go out, like, share, follow, subscribe to that YouTube channel, man. Spread the love. If you guys have been watching for a couple seasons, you know what this is all about is we raise money for local charities here through Coach's Corner. The more eyes I can get on the show, the more people I can get input on, the more money hopefully we can raise for these charities and these causes that we do coming out of Coach's Corner, man. So like I said, get ready. Announcement's going to be made here towards the end of January about our Checkered Flag for Charity having to do with our fundraising that we do here. And not only that, there's going to be some other news, not only about rubbing and grubbing, but other sports shows we got right here on Coach's Corner Sports Network, man. So make sure you guys stay tuned for those announcements coming up here later on in the month. But a big shout out right here before we get going in the who's hot and who's not. Arbor Man Tree Service, Mr. Parker Eckers himself, one of my main sponsors outside of Coaches for Rubbin' and Grubbin'. Love you, brother, everything you do, and I say it all the time. Hey, man, not a better guy here locally owned, locally operated. As I say all the time, no job too big, too small, no tree too tall. Give Parker a call. Doesn't matter if it's an estimate, you want some limbs trimmed back, tree removal, stump grinding, whatever it may be, Parker's going to be right there to give you a really good price on that. So you'll see it scrolling on the bottom of the screen, name and phone number over there at Arbor Man. Make sure you give Parker a call and have him come out and give you an estimate, do some tree service for you, man. Love you, brother. I'll see you here soon, man. But getting right into the who's hot, who's not, as I said, we don't really have some racing going on, but we do have quite a few things that I tend to see trending in the right direction, wrong direction. Daytona 500 sold out for the 64th running, man. It is completely sold out. It continues on a streak other than last year or the pandemic year that they were restricted on how many patrons they could have at the racetrack. Before that, it was 5 years straight, so we can just say it's 6 if we skip that year because they sold out again this year. Now, they still do have some available seating. It's going to be on different parts of the track, different parts of the fan zone, different packages you can buy. But as far as general admission tickets for that race, sold out, man. So that's going to be a packed house. Everybody is stoked about this next-gen car showing up there for this 500. Definitely going to be one for the history books, man. Don't know if I'm going to make it. I would love to make it. It's on the bucket list to make it one day. It's not that far of a drive for me. I've just never really been a huge fan of Daytona Talladega. I hate to say that. I love the race. I love about the last 10 laps of it. I do watch all of it, but one day I'm going to make it down there, man, and go check this out for sure. But like I said, man, it's going to be a wild one. So make sure you're ready here in February when we kick off that 500. Put a seatbelt in your couch. I don't know what you got to do, man, but make sure you put something to restrain yourself because it's going to be a wild one, man. So Brandon Brown and LGB Coin, man, have found a way. I tell you what, and I put this in the hot news because I really feel like it's a good thing for the driver. If you've been keeping up with it, we know NASCAR shot down the sponsorship. Let's go Brandon Coin, basically. They shot that down. Not going to do that. NASCAR says we're trying to distance ourselves from political sponsors, right or left. We've seen them have them in years past. We've seen, hopefully, it's going to be nothing any more about political, man. If you guys watch the show, you know I'm not political in sports. Goes nowhere with me. I don't think it belongs. They were always to pick what sponsors they want in and want out. This one they denied. Hopefully, after this year, we come up with some guidelines that set the criteria for a sponsor. It's got to be this, can't be affiliated with any political party, yada, yada, yada. Who knows how they're going to write it out, but something's got to be put out in writing for these sponsors to know. But with that being said, and the sponsor being shot down, they still stuck by this, man. An 8-figure basic NIL deal, name, image, likeness. So he's going to make appearances places. He's going to be doing some things for LGB Coin. But at the end of the day, man, a 10-figure sponsor, which is going to help fund this guy's racing career down the road and throughout this year. I think it's absolutely amazing. Good shout out to Brandon, and love it for the company to stick by him, man. So good things going on there. So also on that hot, man, the next gen car. I mean, we were up in arms about it, not really knowing what it was going to do. I think NASCAR did a really good job by lining this out on the tests that they had with the drivers, listening to that feedback, making the appropriate changes, and putting this car in a direction at a lot of tracks they didn't think it was going to go. With that being said, we're there at Daytona where they're testing, man, and speeds are not that far off from what we were running speeds last year. Anywhere between 185 to 190 is what they're doing, and the question's always being brought up. Why don't we go faster? Why don't we do this? It's only a matter of time before the engineers that you have in the sport figure out a way to make the next-gen car go faster. So it's going to take a few years for them to build it up. But as we've seen in years past, we have seen these guys running 201, 202. And when we start getting to those speeds, starts getting a little hairy on the safety issues and keeping all four on the ground. And there again, as a normal fan going out, when we're watching these cars go, we can't really tell the difference between 190 and 201. I mean, they can feel it, and they feel it in the car, but we don't see it. So I don't care if we're going 175 miles an hour. As long as the racing is good, that's all that really matters. To me, I'm not a speed demon. I don't have to have the fastest speeds. I don't have to have 200 miles an hour to make it exciting. I just want to see good racing. So at the end of the day, I think they're doing really good things. A lot of drivers from this Daytona test said so far the speed, is there. They like the speed. The handling's not quite where it needs to be yet, which they're going to get that figured out as they get more seat time in it and as we go on through the season. They will make the appropriate changes to maybe get this in. It's probably got a little bit to do with the independent rear suspension and just different things. They say that the steering in these are very volatile, man. It is something to be dealt with. So there again, like I said, we're working in the right direction. We still got close to a month, a little bit over a month actually, before we get to Daytona, where this information is really going to come into play. But there again, at the end of the day, like I said, next-gen car trending in the right direction. Drivers are liking it. Fans are excited for it. Big kudos, pat on the back to NASCAR for what they did, implementing the changes, and what they continue to do with the next-gen car, man. So that wraps it up for the who's hot. Getting ready to get into the who's not. I got to pause, get a little sip right here, man. Station identification right here at Coach's Corner Sports Network, y'all. Hope y'all having a good night. All right, so the first thing I'm coming into right here is what the hell is going on with the who's not in the sponsorship. We got that square bucket, man. We'll throw that $1 in there. I actually owe it $1 from earlier, so we'll throw that in there as well, man. There it is. There's another one. John said I'll throw one in for John, man. But now what I'm breaking it down to is Cup sponsorship, the actual cost of sponsoring a Cup car. Now, this blew my mind. I actually did a little research today and looked this up. I just kind of got curious from what it was and what I remember to what it is now. So on a race scale, to sponsorship in NASCAR ranges anywhere from $250,000 to $500,000 a race for a main sponsorship. Now that depends on if you're going to be on the hood, if you're going to be on the side, if you're going to sponsor the whole car, right? But at the end of the day, it is crazy to me, right? So when you do the math and you estimate it, a full year sponsorship for a main majority sponsor on a race car, all 38 races, is anywhere between $5 to $35 million a year. So like I said, sponsors are what make this sport go round. My biggest thing is this going to continue in that direction with the way the sport is moving, right? So we're getting away from not only making the schedule better for logistics, the hauling of the teams, the transportation of the cars, this and that, but we're also getting into the actual cost of the race cars. So we're not manufacturing our own parts out of shop anymore, building our own chassis. NASCAR is supplying these through a third party to every team. So there is no building your own brakes, brake calipers, brake pads, brake assemblies, your own suspensions, your own shocks. There's no more of that. It's all given to you by NASCAR. You put it together, you play inside of a rule book. So the cost went down. Now, my question is, as we continue to see the cost of the actual racing aspect come down, are we going to continue to see the cost of the sponsorship go up? Or will we see it hit a fine medium and kind of level off, or maybe go back down further to get more sponsors into the sport for some of these underfunded race car teams? So it's just something that I wanted to bring up. I don't think it's cool that it costs anywhere from $5 to $35 million. Now that's chump change, apples to oranges for your Targets and your McDonald's and your big, sponsors like that, Napa. That's apples to oranges, man. It's pennies on the dollar to them. But at the end of the day, for some of these smaller sponsors, that is a lot of money. Kyle Busch in the house, y'all. So, hey, also on that who's not list, that's going to be the Alabama Crimson Tide, man. That's all I got to say about that, and go Dogs. They're going to stay on the who's not list all season long until we roll back around to next August, man. So go Dogs, man. So there it is. If you watched last week, I implemented a new little segment of the show called the hard right turn, man. We're always going left in NASCAR. We do go right sometimes now more than ever, but these are hard right turns right here. So basically it's just something I want to talk about, get some opinions. If you're watching, make sure you write a comment, drop it in the comment section. We'll talk about it, bring it up next week, man. But my question is, in the hard right turn, is NASCAR putting its money into the right places? So not only in the last few years, basically since COVID, which I love the fact of what they did during that COVID year and the pandemic of having to move races, find places that they were allowed to go race at, revamp that schedule, make it work. Since then, we've been revamping schedule for the past year and a half, 2 years now. So we've got more road course races than we ever had. We don't have the Brickyard anymore. We only have one true Bristol race. It's on dirt now. So, and if you've been keeping up with the news, as I said earlier, the LA Coliseum. NASCAR had the opportunity to go there and put a racetrack inside that Coliseum. They spent a little bit over $1 million. We're going to go race it there for one race. They're going to tear it right back and rebuild the football field. So it's something to be said. As we said, we've seen it at Bristol. Now, I've been a fan of this for 30 years, and to me, Bristol is one of the greatest races, both of them. The night race and the spring race are both two of the best races they have on the schedule all year. So when we went dirt, I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about it. If you watched the show last year, I'm not a big fan of it. I enjoyed it. I thought it was neat. I'm not a big fan of it. I would much rather watch these Cup cars race on the actual Bristol instead of this dirt. And with that being said, it costs over $2 million to bring the dirt in, to haul it out, to make it back, man. And this, you're not even doing anything but putting your dirt down, getting it ready for a dirt race. So there again leads back to the question, are they putting money in the right places in the sport for fans to rejuvenate the sport and attract fans? Me being a fan, I'm already here. But at the end of the day, I think there's a lot of other things that we can do for fans at the races than actually going out and making these one-of-a-kind, hit and miss kind of experiences for fans. A lot of different things you could do at the track, you know, implementing more things for the fans to do, more concerts, maybe even a little bit more exposure to your favorite driver, being able to get up close and personal with them a little bit. A lot of different things I think they can do. And my biggest thing is NASCAR went out and bought the ARCA series, right, a few years back. We have yet to see ARCA be implemented into these NASCAR weekends. So as a huge fan of Atlanta already having the doubleheader on Saturday, right? I mean, we get the trucks and Xfinity race both Saturday, Cup race on Sunday in the spring. Man, let's get a little Friday night shootout there, man, with some ARCA cars, you know, or a Friday evening race, you know. And I know tire compound and this and that comes into play. But at the end of the day, man, run the same tire compound. You bought it. Give them the same damn tires, man. I mean, you know, don't change the compound up, but it adds more for fans to go. Not only do you get 1, 2, or 3 races, you get 4 races. You get 3 races. You get 2 races. So I don't know if the money's being put into the right place, but at the end of the day, it does make it exciting for fans when you get the buzz of new things being built. But there again, like I said, I think you can definitely have some better things going on than what we've been having just at site, on track fan experiences, man. So that's going to wrap it up right there for the rubbing part. We're getting ready to get into the grubbing part here soon. Like I said, a little bit of a short show tonight, waiting to get back into that racing, man. But it's one of my favorite things that we grub on at Coaches. Done with the rubbing, on to the grubbing, man. Like I always say, this is one of the best hidden gems here on Coach's menu, man. Thank you, brother. So this is going to be that big Mac Daddy calzone, man. I just got mine with straight pepperoni and cheese tonight, taking it home to split it with the wife. House-made marinara. I'm telling you right now, if you haven't been to Coach's, had the calzones, tried the stromboli, or a pizza, you are missing out on one of the best pizza hidden gems in Savannah, man. Definitely make sure you guys come out, check it out. As soon as I get off the air, I am getting ready to tear into this calzone, man. Nothing beats Coach's calzone. I'm telling you, tonight's a little chilly. This is going to hit the spot, man. If you're ready for it, here getting towards in February, man, we're coming right up down to it. We got Green White Checker coming back live, 104.3 ESPN Coastal, PJ Zuko and myself every Sunday morning, 9 to 9:30, breaking down everything new in NASCAR that has happened since Wednesday here on the show. A little bit more structured there being on ESPN Coastal, but like I said, you can check that out every Sunday, 9 to 9:30, 104.3 ESPN Coastal. You can even check it out on ESPN Coastal's Facebook Live page as well, man. So, like I said, thank you guys for tuning in, man. Big shout out to John and Dale Henderson and everybody here at Coach's Corner, man, for everything they do. Like I said, if you have not been here yet, make sure you come out here, man. Check it out. Great food, great friends, great times, great drinks. Absolutely amazing times, man. So make sure you guys come out, check that out. You guys make sure you have a great night out there. Stay safe, hug your loved ones. Like I said, get ready for this NASCAR racing stuff. If you haven't yet, make sure you go check out the videos of the next gen testing at Daytona. Check it out there at Atlanta. It's going to be absolutely amazing, y'all. But hey, till next week, love y'all, stay safe, and as always, wash your hands, y'all. Love y'all, man.